Most men believe attraction begins with appearance, muscles, or money, and that belief quietly keeps them stuck. Attraction actually forms at a deeper level, where emotions, security, and psychological connection shape desire. Women respond to inner experiences more than surface traits, yet these experiences remain unspoken and rarely understood. Many men sense something is missing, yet they chase harder instead of learning what truly creates closeness. This gap explains why interest fades suddenly, why emotional distance appears without warning, and why connection feels fragile even when effort feels high. In this video, you will learn the 7 intimate needs every woman carries beneath the surface. These needs guide attraction, attachment, and emotional bonding. They influence who she trusts, who she opens up to, and who she remembers long after others fade. Very few men naturally satisfy these needs, which places them in a rare category that women feel drawn toward without pressure or persuasion. This video reveals why that small group stands apart, and how their presence creates a sense of safety, desire, and emotional depth that feels effortless. You will discover how emotional safety shapes attraction more than charm, why consistency builds desire stronger than intensity, and how calm leadership changes the way a woman responds to a man. You will also learn why trying harder often reduces attraction, while grounded confidence increases it. These ideas come from psychology, behavioral patterns, and real relational dynamics that many people overlook. Each point builds on the last, revealing a deeper layer of connection that most conversations avoid. As the video progresses, you will see how subtle behaviors influence emotional bonding, how presence communicates strength without words, and why mystery paired with stability keeps desire alive. These insights explain why some men seem unforgettable without chasing attention. They also explain why others feel invisible despite effort. By the end, the full pattern becomes clear, and the reasons behind attraction no longer feel confusing or random. Watching until the end matters because the final insight ties every need together into one powerful understanding. Miss one piece and the picture stays incomplete. Stay through the full video and you will see attraction from a clearer perspective that changes how relationships are approached moving forward. Welcome to our channel, where psychology, attraction, and human behavior are explored with clarity and depth. Subscribe now to stay connected with future videos that reveal the hidden dynamics shaping desire, confidence, and emotional connection. These needs are often misunderstood because they are rarely connected to romance on the surface. They are rooted in emotional safety, steady presence, and psychological leadership that feels calm rather than controlling. Emotional safety is created when a man remains grounded in his reactions, allowing a woman to feel relaxed instead of alert. Presence is shown through consistency, tone, and attention, not constant communication or dramatic effort. Psychological leadership appears when a man is clear in his direction, comfortable with uncertainty, and secure in his identity. When these elements exist together, attraction develops quietly and naturally without persuasion or performance. There is less tension, fewer emotional tests, and more ease in interaction. A woman begins to lean in emotionally because the environment feels stable and predictable in a reassuring way. When these needs are missing, the shift is subtle rather than sudden. Interest fades through small changes in energy, delayed responses, and emotional distance that is difficult to explain. It is not caused by a single mistake, but by the absence of grounded authority and emotional steadiness. Over time, uncertainty replaces comfort, and connection weakens without dramatic conflict or clear ending. Emotional safety begins with how a man manages his inner state. Calm energy creates a sense of ease that allows a woman to relax without effort. She responds to steadiness more than excitement because calm signals strength and self-trust. A man who stays composed during uncertainty communicates reliability through behavior rather than words. His tone remains even, his reactions stay measured. Small moments reveal this quality, especially when plans change or emotions rise. Instead of rushing to fix feelings or explain himself, he allows space for emotions to exist. This restraint communicates confidence and maturity. Over time, this presence feels grounding and reassuring. She senses that her emotions will be met with stability rather than urgency. Emotional control also appears through patience and silence. There is no pressure to fill every pause or seek constant validation. The absence of emotional spikes creates a smooth rhythm that feels safe to stay within. Consistent composure builds trust quietly. It signals that attraction grows in an environment free from chaos. When emotional steadiness becomes familiar, closeness develops naturally. Calm becomes the foundation, through which deeper connection forms without effort or performance. Being seen without analysis creates a level of comfort that words alone cannot produce. A woman feels closest when her experiences are acknowledged rather than dissected. She does not seek solutions or explanations in those moments. She wants space to express herself without interruption or correction. Many men respond too quickly, turning listening into a task instead of a presence. They prepare answers while she is still speaking, which shifts the energy away from connection. The rare man remains attentive without urgency. He listens to understand the emotion behind the words rather than the words themselves. His awareness stays focused, calm, and open. This type of listening allows her to feel accepted as she is in that moment. There is no pressure to justify feelings or clarify thoughts. Silence becomes supportive instead of uncomfortable. Through observation, he learns her emotional patterns, rhythms, and unspoken signals. This awareness deepens connection without effort. She senses that she is being understood at a deeper level, which creates trust and emotional closeness. The absence of judgment makes vulnerability feel natural, allowing connection to unfold without resistance or emotional tension. Consistent presence creates a sense of emotional stability that intensity alone cannot maintain. Strong beginnings often feel exciting, but excitement loses its impact when it lacks continuity. A woman pays attention to patterns more than promises, and she notices whether energy remains steady or shifts unpredictably. Reliable presence shows through follow-through, tone, and availability that feels natural rather than forced. It does not rely on constant messages or dramatic gestures. It appears in small, repeated moments that build familiarity and comfort. This steadiness allows her to relax into connection without questioning motives or intentions. When presence is grounded, there is no pressure to perform or impress. Distance feels intentional rather than avoidant, and closeness feels secure rather than overwhelming. Over time, this balance creates emotional trust. She learns that attention does not vanish after closeness increases. Consistency signals maturity and emotional awareness. It reassures without explanation. Through this reliability, attachment forms quietly. The connection deepens because the environment feels stable, predictable, and safe to invest in. Emotional masculine direction provides a sense of clarity that allows emotional tension to settle. A woman responds to a man who moves with intention and certainty because clarity creates ease. Direction does not come from dominance or control. It shows through decisiveness, calm choices, and confidence in movement. When a man knows what he wants and acts without hesitation, uncertainty fades from the interaction. This steadiness allows her to relax mentally and emotionally. She does not feel pressure to lead, manage outcomes, or second-guess the situation. Emotional friction decreases because decisions feel grounded rather than reactive. Direction also shows in boundaries, pacing, and purpose. A man who leads himself naturally leads the moment. His clarity communicates safety through structure. There is comfort in knowing someone is present, aware, and intentional. This type of leadership feels reassuring rather than restrictive. It creates flow instead of resistance. As certainty becomes familiar, trust deepens. She feels free to respond authentically because the path forward feels stable. Attraction grows in this environment because emotional energy can focus on connection rather than confusion. Emotional containment allows a woman to express herself freely without fear of reaction or instability. She opens up when her emotions are met with steadiness rather than intensity. Space is created when a man remains present without trying to change what is being shared. There is no judgment in his expression and no urgency in his response. He does not rush the moment or attempt to redirect the emotion elsewhere. His composure communicates strength through restraint. Instead of absorbing emotion and becoming reactive, he holds it with calm awareness. This ability creates a sense of emotional safety that feels rare and grounding. Her feelings are allowed to move without resistance. Silence feels supportive rather than uncomfortable. Emotional containment shows through patience, eye contact, and controlled energy. It allows expression to unfold naturally. Over time, this presence builds trust because emotional moments remain stable rather than chaotic. She learns that vulnerability will not overwhelm the connection. The steadiness of his emotional space creates room for deeper honesty and closeness to emerge without pressure or emotional imbalance. Validation feels most powerful when it comes from independence rather than reliance. A woman senses the difference between being chosen and being needed. Being chosen feels intentional and secure. Being needed carries pressure and emotional weight. Compliments carry more meaning when they are offered without expectation or follow-up reassurance. When words are spoken calmly and left alone, they feel sincere. Approval seeking weakens their impact because it shifts focus toward insecurity. Independence creates credibility. A man who values his own life, direction, and emotional balance offers validation from a place of abundance rather than lack. His appreciation feels grounded and authentic. There is no urgency behind his words and no hidden request for affirmation in return. This emotional self-sufficiency allows compliments to settle naturally. She receives them without feeling responsible for maintaining his confidence. Over time, this dynamic creates attraction rooted in respect. Validation becomes an expression of choice rather than dependency. The absence of emotional reliance allows closeness to develop freely. Connection strengthens because appreciation feels stable, balanced, and emotionally safe to accept. Mystery creates attraction when it exists within a stable emotional frame. A woman enjoys curiosity that feels inviting rather than unsettling. When everything is predictable, interest fades because there is nothing left to discover. When behavior feels unstable, anxiety replaces desire. The balance appears in a man who remains consistent in character while unpredictable in depth. His values, presence, and direction stay steady, yet there is always more to learn beneath the surface. This dynamic keeps interaction engaging without creating emotional tension. Mystery shows through restraint, pacing, and selective disclosure rather than secrecy or withdrawal. Stability allows curiosity to feel safe. She senses that unpredictability will not turn into disappearance or emotional swings. This balance requires emotional control and self-awareness. It keeps attraction alive because curiosity is met with trust. Desire grows when discovery feels secure. Over time, this combination maintains interest without exhausting emotional energy. Connection remains active because stability supports exploration rather than limiting it. These needs are rarely taught because they cannot be memorized or copied. They are lived through behavior, presence, and emotional discipline. A man either carries them in how he moves through moments or he does not. When a woman feels emotional safety, clarity, calm leadership, and grounded presence, the experience stays with her. It reshapes how she views connection and attraction. The memory is not about words or gestures performed. It is about how she felt in his presence. That feeling becomes a reference point she carries forward. Men who embody these traits do not chase attachment. It forms naturally around them. Their impact lingers because it is rooted in emotional experience rather than performance. Once these needs are felt together, they are difficult to replace or forget. If this video helped you understand attraction at a deeper level, support the channel by liking the video. Subscribe to our channel for more content that breaks down psychology, emotional dynamics, and real connection with clarity and depth.